Hey everybody, it's Cayley. I'm here with another What Sold From Last Week video. In today's video, I'll be talking about all of my sales from last week on eBay and Poshmark. We'll do a breakdown into the numbers, how much I sold, how much it cost to sell those items, as well as show you some of the items that I sold so you know what to look for while you're out at your thrift store to make a profit. Let's dive in. So all of the sales that you see here happened between January 9th through January 15th, and this probably will be a shorter video. I tried to focus on pulling less items, but picking the more desirable ones. That way you would know what you could get the most bang for your buck for. In total last week, I sold 109 items between two platforms, eBay and Poshmark. My gross sales were $3,747.92, making my average sale price $34.38. Estimated cost of goods based on an average buy cost for everything that sold last week was $436. Estimated net less fees and shipping costs and estimated cost of goods was $2,267.54. On eBay, I sold 64 items. On Poshmark, I sold 45. Poshmark's been performing really well for us here lately. I wouldn't say it's equal to eBay, but it's definitely getting closer as we've been transitioning to listing on List Perfectly and getting every single item on Poshmark, which we were able to accomplish last week. Gross sales on eBay were just over $2,300 and gross sales on Poshmark were just over $1,400. First item I wanted to show you that sold on eBay was this J. Crew women's knit by hand is what the label says. It's a line from them. Reason I got this was because it was alpaca. Alpaca is a really great material to look for in any brand, along with this Nordic pattern here. This kind of stuff does really well regardless of brand, but especially in J. Crew. I paid $6.99 at a thrift store. It sold on an offer for $40. This is a Wrangler men's shirt jacket. Wrangler's not typically a brand we would pick up, but shirt jackets are very trendy right now, and you can pretty much pick up, I wouldn't say any, but a lot of shirt jackets in pretty much any brand if it's got the style. I paid $2.50 for this. It sold on an offer for $26.93. This is a Cabela's men's down jacket. Also recommend, kind of like the shirt jackets, looking for down jackets during this time of the year. You can figure out if it's down by going to the material tag and looking for down. You want to make sure there's no holes or lacerations in it. If some feathers are poking out just through the seams, that's pretty typical of down, but you really want to avoid any major holes and really look it over good. Or else I don't think it's worth picking up. We surprisingly found this one at the bins. Cabela's is a nice outdoors brand to look for, and especially when paired with down. I accepted an offer of $45.45 on this, which is a really great profit at the bins. I think at the bins a lot of people pass on coats and jackets because they think they're heavy, but if you guys know down material, it's super lightweight, so it can be a good thing to pick up at the bins. These are a pair of Vuori shorts. These are men's swim trunks. And if you're not familiar with this brand, I would definitely get familiar with it. It kind of, not something just looking at the tag you would think would be good, but it is. And sometimes this is torn out, so you really want to look for the logo. They also make women's activewear and men's activewear, and I pretty much pick up anything in this brand. It always flips super quickly. I paid $4.39 for this. It sold on an offer for $40.49. This was something I picked up online through another resale site. I paid $14.42 for this. It sold for $49.88, which was my full asking price. I've got a whole video about Ralph Lauren I can link above, or just search it on YouTube along with my channel name, but I talk about in that video certain patterns or prints in all Ralph Lauren lines do well. The Western, Aztec, Southwestern stuff does really good, and so when I saw this online for a little over $14, I knew I could flip it pretty quickly, and so I think that's a pretty good return on investment for an online flip where something was shipped to my door. If you guys are in the dresses section, definitely take a look for this brand, Reformation. excellent, especially in the dress category. We picked this up for $4.39 at a thrift store. In particular, the midi and maxi length dresses do the best. They're very trendy right now. They sell almost immediately, but I would say pretty much any dress in Reformation would do well, especially on Poshmark. So we paid $4.39. We accepted an offer of $72, and that sold almost immediately after getting it listed. These next two jeans are both basically the same thing. They're a pair of Abercrombie and Fitch Kilburn jeans. This was in the fly area, so sometimes it's easy to miss, but the style name can be right there. Reason we picked these up was because they were button fly, which is the same for these. Button fly jeans in Abercrombie and Fitch in the men's department has a really high sell-through rate, and so even though it doesn't flip for a ton, I do pick it up at $4.99 or lower because I know I can flip it for about 25 bucks. Both of these we picked up for $4.99 at a thrift store. They each sold for $24.87, which was full asking price. This is pretty much something I show in every What Sold video. It is a Tommy Bahama men's 100% silk shirt. We try to stick to the larger sizes or something with kind of a better print to it or multicolor. This one was pretty plain. It did have a little bit of I guess stitching throughout that gave it a little bit of uniqueness, but overall we mostly picked this one up because it was a size extra large. We pick these up all day long. We typically flip the plainer ones or the smaller size ones for 25 bucks, and then anything larger or with a greater pattern to it or a better color, closer to 30, sometimes even up to $40. Paid $4.39 for this, and it sold for $29.91, which was full asking price. We showed these jeans on my Instagram, and I talked about how dojo jeans used to be a huge bolo. You can know that these are dojo jeans when there are 1-7 on the pocket, both going the same direction. Don't get it confused with the double 7s on there. I've done that before. But if you see 7s on the back pockets of 7 for All Mankind jeans, they're probably dojo jeans. So just make sure to look into it and make sure you've got the right back pocket. I have looked for dojo jeans for so long and was never able to find them when they were super popular. So we recently found them at a thrift store and I got super excited, and I looked up the sell-through rate on eBay and it was no longer a 100% sell-through rate. I still decided to get it anyways, just based on the fact that I'd been searching for it for so long. I made a post about it on Instagram, and you guys said these still sold depending on certain factors. So we did go ahead and get this listed. I paid $2.50 at a thrift store. It did sell pretty quickly, honestly, on an offer for $44.92. I have one more pair that still needs to sell, so hopefully you'll see that in an upcoming video. I actually ended up finding 2 that week, oddly enough. But despite a sell-through rate that doesn't seem to be there, I think I will continue picking up the dojo jeans because they're performing well, and it might be something we go against the grain on. These are a pair of Nike boots. Any kind of Nike shoe that's super unique, I always look at, and you can easily identify what the style name is by searching some of these numbers here. These numbers right here, this 317244-121. If you type Nike space and then all of these, including the dash, into Google, for pretty much any Nike shoe, you should be able to pull up what the exact style name is and then do a comp with the exact style name. It takes a little bit of extra work, but that way you know you're getting a desirable style. These were pretty retro. They were from 2007, and they were just basically a satin snow boot. They were very odd for Nike, but once again, anything really unique or odd at Nike does well for us. We paid $4.99. It ended up selling for a full asking price of $69.91. So anytime you're out and see something really unique in Nike, definitely give it a look up. This is a pair of Chico's pants. These are the So Slimming line. We picked these up mainly because they were new with tags. You can see they retail for quite a bit. Chico's has vanity sizing at 2.5, translates I think to a large is what we put here, but you always want to make sure to look that up. You want to look for the higher sizes in Chico's. They do a lot better. I won't say they're known for a plus size brand, but I think that's what has the better sell-through rate. I think I might actually pick these up even not new with tags, because I think they still might sell for $25. But again, really dependent on the size. So we found a couple pairs of these new with tags, decided to pick them up for $4.99. This one sold for full asking price very quickly of $29.91, which makes me think that maybe I could have priced it a little higher. Moving on to Poshmark. I talked about this in a recent video. These like platform chunky vintage looking shoes paired with the keywords Y2K can do really well. These are just a pair of Calvin Kleins. You can see they've got a little bit of wear to them, but what you really want to look for is that cloggy, platformy, chunky heel. I got these at the bins. Nobody wanted them because I don't think they understood the style, and they ended up selling for $60. Really great flip for just a pair of old vintage shoes, but keep your eye out for these platform chunky looking shoes. Also got these at the bins. They were a pair of Ariat boots. Ariat is one of my favorite brands to sell, not only in shoes but clothing as well. And you can identify them by looking at this logo right here. Sometimes it's on the outside of the shoe. And they typically have all the style information here. These were called the Western Heritage Arto Cowgirl boots. They sold extremely quickly. Once again, picked these up at the bins and they sold for $70. One thing about cowgirl and cowboy boots you might want to look for is a lot of people pass on them because they're distressed looking, but sometimes brands make them that way on purpose, and sometimes it's even more desirable when they're worn in. So just keep an eye on that and pick up the ones that other people are passing on. This was a great return on investment. This is another online pickup for me. I paid $15.28. I was able to find this exact style name online doing an image search and found out that it was called the BCBG Max Azria Hamlin Faux Suede Fringe Mocha Dress. And I saw that these were doing pretty well and that they were pretty rare. This is just the brand BCBG Max Azria, and it's a size 2, which is a pretty small size. Typically I wouldn't get that, but once again I was able to search the exact style name and saw that it had a following. This ended up selling for an offer of $72, and I was surprised at how quickly it sold. I thought it was really pretty, but don't be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone on brands if it is a very specific piece. Next up is a bundle of baby items. I sold this Baby Bowden toddler sweater, as well as this Polo Ralph Lauren girls sweater in a bundle for $49. And I just wanted to show this because a lot of people pass on kids clothing, but the same brands that you would look for in adult clothing is typically the same ones that you're going to want to look for in kids clothing. And I'm really surprised at just how much you can get for certain kids clothing. I think it's because parents want to match their kids, and so they're willing to pay a lot for photo shoots and things like that. So I believe I picked both of these guys up at the bins. We pretty much only look for kids clothes at the bins. Super lightweight, and they're really easy to photograph. Most of the time you can actually just do a flat lay versus putting on a hanger like we did here. So I sold both of these for a bundle of $49. This is something that took a very long time to sell, but if you're willing to wait, is definitely worth it. This is the brand Brooks Brothers, which is a good brand to pick up in men's blazers sometimes. I picked this one up because it was cashmere, but mainly because it had the Loro Piana cashmere. If you see this inside of pretty much indie brand, it is a great fabric that has really good following. They also make wool pieces. And so when I see that paired with another great brand, I almost always pick it up. However, just be aware it's probably going to take a while to sell, but you'll get a good return on investment. I paid $5.99 for this originally, and it sold for $70. The very last one I wanted to show you was this Anthropologie women's field flower chevron striped sweater jacket. I figured that this was an Anthropologie piece by looking at the RN number, and the tag just kind of looked like it as well. Here's the RN number 66170. If you see that, it's either Anthropologie or Urban Outfitters. This was pretty easy to look up just because it was so unique, and I found out that it was an Anthropologie piece and that it had a really great following. I almost left this behind at the thrift store because it did have a couple of small spots, which you can see we noted. Kind of hard to tell when you're wearing the jacket because there's so much going on. I I still priced high because there weren't very many, and it still sold for $70. So I'm glad I did pick that up despite the spots, and that's something that I'll continue to do and continue to adjust at the thrift store if it's something more unique and rare.
Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you're not already and you would like to be, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below. That way you'll get notified as I make new content. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.